I know, I thought he'd say something too. Hi, everyone. Mike Callagy here. Thank you so much for waiting. Sorry we're a couple minutes late getting to the call. And this is the Wednesday, June 17th briefing on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We are at 2653 as far as confirmed cases. That is plus 28 from Tuesday. Tuesday was plus 31 from Monday, and Monday was plus 41 over the weekend there. So you can still see certainly that we have those numbers out there. The good thing is if you look to the fact sheets here, thank you, Denise, for getting that. We're down to 22 hospitalizations, and that's good. We're headed in the right direction there. Certainly, we're headed in the right direction with no new deaths to report. We hope to be able to report the same thing on Wednesday, on Friday. Today is Wednesday, as we try to go a whole week without any new deaths due to COVID-19. We've got 7 folks in the ICU based on COVID-19 illness, which is also down. Along the same lines as before, we're at positivity of 5.3, over 50,000 now tested in the county, and the average days of results are 1.75. We can see that if you look at the long-term care facility data, 67 out of the 99 deaths were related to those long-term care facilities, in the sense that they were housed there. As I mentioned to the elected group that just a few minutes ago, the variance was approved yesterday, which I think you all know from the state, which was very good news. Just want to commend Health for working literally 24 hours around the clock for a couple of days on that order to get that variance in place. It certainly is a tribute to all those who have worked hard in the community to reduce the spread of this virus, and that's the only way we could have got it. So now we'll certainly switch to a behavioral-based model, excuse me, a behavioral-based model that really is more focused on gathering restrictions and social distancing and face coverings, which will continue as we move forward here. That order, the new order, we believe will come out in the next couple of hours, and it will be effective immediately. So we will move in many instances to the floor of the state, what the state allows, and adhere to the state as it moves. So, and certainly David Silverman's on the line if you have specific questions about that order, in the sense that it's still being looked at, it's not finalized yet, and it won't be out for about another hour and a half or so. Just a quick update on some of our clients. We have 10 guests at the ACS Burlingame Hotel. That is, so 10 COVID-19 guests there. The Bayfront, the homeless shelter, is full with, hotel is full with 90 guests. We have 89 other guests in various hotels around the county for a total of 179. So we also put out, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. Let's go ahead, maybe play it. We're going to start to ramp up contact tracing here, and we're gathering up to 115 employees to complement the ones we already have in place to really ramp up and be ready for that contact tracing. But what we want to assure the public is that you will never be asked for your financial information. So we have a PSA by District Attorney Steve Wagstaff that we are getting ready to ramp up and put out there. So people will be aware that we will be contacting, asking about the COVID-19 disease and making sure that people are aware that they were in contact with someone who had it. But we'll never ask for financial information. So let's go ahead, please, and roll this.
Hi, I'm Steve Wagstaff, San Mateo County District Attorney. And I'm speaking to you today about the COVID-19 program that's being started for doing contact tracing. It's an effort by the San Mateo County Health Department and San Mateo County to find people who might have had contact with somebody who tested positive for the COVID-19 disease. Now, there's going to be people calling you from San Mateo County, and they're going to be people who will be identified in that fashion. But there are other people out there called scammers. And they're going to try and call and get information from you. If you get any calls from somebody asking for any of your financial information, social security number, bank number, anything like that, that's a fraud. Don't trust it, hang up, notify the district attorney's office it's occurred so that we can try and find the scammers. The goal is to keep you from becoming a victim of fraud.
That's a great little PSA. As a reminder, we'll get out to everyone as we ramp up the contact tracing. Just an update really quick on the child protective cases that we get. You know, that's something that you tend to not think about in a crisis like this, much like domestic violence cases. But it's something that, you know, we're still very concerned about because a lot of times when kids are in school or in aftercare or in organized sports where you have mandated reporters, they will be our eyes and ears in the community and report those child abuse cases. And we noticed a considerable drop-off once COVID-19 and shelter-in-place orders took place. So we did put out a PSA in different forms during the week of May 4th. And, you know, the reporting of child abuse on the hotline has increased significantly since then. So it's something that we will continue to do, to put out, to remind people to be watchful for this and to make sure that they continue to be our eyes and ears out there. Just some interesting data. Please, if you can bring that up. The first, there you go. The first chart there will show that there's a 45% increase in suspected child abuse neglect reports. So these are the referrals. You can see a 45% increase there, and then a 57% increase in the investigations on those referrals over the last few weeks. So just something that to be cognizant of. Still way down from where we are typically when schools open or summer camps are open, but just wanted to bring that to your attention. On to the census, just very quickly before I get to your questions. It's something that, you know, we're very concerned about because we can't go out and have that contact like we have in the past. Yet our group here at the county, in collaboration with all the partners, all the nonprofits that are working on this, I think are doing a tremendous job. We are still #1 in the state response at 72.4%, well above the CA average of 62.5 and the national average of 61.4. This COVID crisis will pass, hopefully shortly, but the census information will be with us for 10 years and really define a lot of our funding, critical funding for the county. So it's something that I just want to assure you, all of you, that we are keeping a spotlight on, and that we're out there doing every single day with our dedicated unit. And we will continue to try to reach as high a number of self-reporters as we can throughout this crisis and beyond. So let's get to the submitted questions. First one, is there any insight into the recent drop of hospitalizations? Sarija, why don't you take a shot at that one?
You know, it's hard to tease it all apart. I'll say a couple things from looking at the data, which you could follow along in the dashboard if you're inclined in that way. But one of the days of the most number of new admissions to hospitals was back on June 2nd. And so a typical length of stay for a COVID-19 patient might be a week or two. So we might be seeing, as we've had fewer admissions, a lower need of hospital capacity for COVID-19 patients. We also, like others in the region, saw some activity after the Memorial Day weekend and the Mother's Day weekend in the healthcare sector as gatherings occurred and there was more circulation of the virus. But can't say that I know or that we know, but are optimistic, as Mike said.
Great, thanks, Sarija. Next question, how's it going at the new testing sites? Are there any plans to create new sites? Testing is going very well, and I think this is one of the best things we were able to do when we convinced Verily to kind of really take this show on the road and move it to other parts of the county, and really get an opportunity to look at all aspects of the county and give people access throughout various regions of the county, and that's worked out very well. The sites are often, and I gotta say, mostly fully booked. I think we did 1,000 in San Mateo yesterday or today that was booked, which is amazing. So as you know, we're rotating through East Palo Alto, North Fair Oaks, San Mateo, Half Moon Bay, Daly City, and we soon hope to add Tanforan and San Bruno to really service that South San Francisco, San Bruno, and Millbrae area. So we hope to do that in the coming weeks. And then, we also have done, to Health's credit, special targeting in hard to reach areas of the county like Pescadero. And, that's difficult to get up and running in those specific areas, but we felt it was very important to outreach to those hard to reach areas where you're not going to have a full deployment, where you're not going to have 500 people roll through in one day, but a much more modest amount, yet just as important. Next question, any recent trends with San Mateo County Strong Fund? Allocations made, money left over, new donations coming in. So the fund has received approximately $8 million in private and corporate donations. 7.3 million awarded to date, includes 3.4 in grants distributed to partnership with the San Mateo Credit Union Community Fund to help small businesses. 1.9 million has been awarded to local nonprofit agencies, and 2 million to individuals and families. The SMC Strong Fund was up 100K this past week, so contributions are still coming in. We encourage people. We hope people will continue to help fund this. And the thing we were worried about is that there'd be a lot of people funding up front, but then as time went on, and that need remains, that it would not be funded as well. We're kind of seeing that now, but of course things are opening back up with these new orders. It should substantially open things up even more. And we're hoping people will get back to work and be able to get back in the mainstream of being able to pay the rent, groceries, and all those type of things, and take some relief off the back side of the system where we're providing those groceries and funds to get people just to get them by right now. Okay, so next question, any challenges to parks reopening? Are they all open? I gotta say, parks came in with an outstanding plan, and I credit our parks director and his staff, Nicholas Calderon, who have done just a great job and really setting up a strategy and just not opening the parks and letting people go all through them, but really doing it in a strategic way with one-way trails and organization and signage and everything else that's really needed to do this in the right way. We are looking at the trails, and we're tracking based on our counters that we have. We have certainly higher visitation than normal. In some cases, the highest visitation that we've ever had in some of these parks for this time of year, because of so many people are off, and certainly peaking on weekends and holidays. And most of the people that we have encountered are very happy with the parks. They want to remain safe. They just want to utilize the parks to hike and to exercise and to get out into nature, and that's all good, and we want that also. And they appreciate the park rules and the order that has been brought to it during this COVID-19 challenge. They also asked about some of the challenges. You would see the same challenges no matter what the situation is when you have more people utilizing the park, and that's really difficulty parking, more litter, the need to clean the restrooms more frequently. Those things are certainly a challenge, but there's certainly many opportunities with this also, and it's getting people out and hiking new trails that they've never been on before because they got more time on their hand, which is a great byproduct of this. The staff is there to engage them, so you have that nice engagement and collaboration at the entrance to the parks, where I think a lot of these folks who are using the parks certainly appreciate the rangers and all they're doing out there, and it's an opportunity to educate folks about trail etiquette, and we want you to go out and have a good time, but we also want you to be safe, and these are the things that you typically do on a trail, and to make sure that we don't have dogs out there or bikes where we don't typically allow them. So about the parks being open, so we've got 17 parks that are open. 6 parks are closed right now, and that's Tenitas, which is certainly still being worked on for the future park, our first beach park. Fitzgerald Marine Reserve Tide Pools is closed. Sanchez Adobe is closed. Woodside Store is closed, and Moss Beach Park Playground is closed, along with Friendship Park Playground. So with that, that is the report for this week. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And we do have Mr. Silverman on the line, and Sarij is still here also. Denise, are there any questions?
Yes, one question in the chat from Henrietta. Would you summarize the highlights of the variance that was approved yesterday?
David, do you want to summarize the highlights of the variance? Do you mean the conditions that we've met, Henrietta? Can we unmute her? Or what it will allow?
Henrietta, I'm going to unmute you if you want to clarify.
Yes, thanks so much. You mentioned that there would be a press release.
Right.
Did you that would go out later this afternoon or tomorrow?
Right.
Yeah, it's probably going to go out this afternoon.
Well, could you summarize the highlights of it?
Of the press release?
Yes.
So, I mean, basically, it indicates that the variance is approved, that the county is issuing a new order, that the order shifts our focus, the county's focus, from an activity and business-based order to a behavior-based order, and that the order allows any business that the state allows to open. So what that means is that, as of the issuance of the order, which is going to be effective immediately, lots and lots of businesses are going to be able to open, including dine-in restaurants, hair salons, gyms, and the state continues to allow businesses to open on a rolling basis. So additional businesses, the state is going to allow to open on Friday include nail salons, tattoo parlors, and waxing businesses. I mean, this is a very high-level summary. I mean, the order continues to require social distancing. The order continues to require face coverings. The order relaxes what's allowed as far as gathering, because as of today, no gathering of people outside of the household is allowed. That's going to be relaxed significantly. I don't know, is there anything you want to add, Mike? I mean, it's kind of a nutshell.
Yeah, no, that's really good, David. I really appreciate that. But also, Henry, just that these businesses will have to have those plans that David just talked about available and up and running. And we believe that we've gone to an immediate opening once the order is issued, and we expect it to be issued this afternoon, because we believe that people have been in the planning stages for a long time and have all those safeguards that Mr. Silverman alluded to already in place, and that they will adhere to them, and that those plans are well thought out and documented.
So could you
That's
say,
right.
as a follow-up, could you say something about the enforcement of the variance, these new orders, and whatever penalties might accrue?
So just to dovetail on what Mike just said. So the state has put out guidance, very detailed guidance, sometimes, many pages of guidance for each different sector that's allowed to open. And for weeks now, as we've been contacted by businesses asking to open, we've directed them to that guidance and indicated that they should be developing plans consistent with that guidance so that they're ready to reopen when the county is allowed to allow them to open. As far as enforcement, enforcement is no different than it was before. This is not something that the county emphasizes, but violation of the order is a misdemeanor. We expect everyone to be good citizens and to do what they are supposed to. But at this point, our order focuses on behavior. It focuses on people wearing face coverings and socially distancing, businesses putting together their health and safety plans. And we have every expectation that citizens and businesses are going to do what they're supposed to and follow the rules. If they don't, folks can certainly call the non-emergency line of their local law enforcement agency and make a report. But ultimately, our hope is that folks do what they're supposed to do.
And if they don't, the penalties involved?
It's a misdemeanor, technically.
It's a misdemeanor, a large fine and up to 6 months in jail. But again, the focus is on compliance. We want people to comply.
And what's really implicit in this order, in this new phase that we're going into now, is that we want businesses to be able to remain open. And the only way that that's going to happen is for us to keep this disease in check. If it gets to a situation where it gets out of control again, the worst situation that we can get into is we'd have to close down again if it became rampant. We don't want to do that. So it's really in everyone's best interest, especially the business owners, to make sure that they comply with the orders, that they have a plan in place, and that they adhere to that plan and really enforce it diligently.
Thank you.
But for the purpose of anything you write, Ms. Burrows, what we're summarizing is not the variance. The variance is what gave the county the authority to open up. What we're talking about is the order and what is going to be allowed under the order.
Okay.
And we have another raised hand, Sierra Lopez.
Sierra.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I am curious if there's a conversation being had about opening up visitations within some of our jails or facilities like that as we continue to open up different types of sectors.
David, you want to take that one? Jails?
Obviously, we need to be very careful in our jail facilities because we don't want COVID-19 to get in there. Are you asking? The visitation is occurring, video visitation is occurring, as far as I understand. Are you wondering whether there have been discussions about in-person visitation occurring in soon? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, in any event, if you'd like me to find out more about visitation, feel free to email me, and I can get you more information about what's happening on visitation.
So we're having a little bit of an audio problem with David there, but the gist of it really is that the video visitation is still going on. I don't think we know where the sheriff is on in-person visits. And that's something I think that they're going to have to work out on. Obviously, the risk of exposing those in jail to COVID-19 is something significant and has to be weighed out. Okay, anything else? Any other questions, Penise?
I don't see any other raised hands and nothing in the chat.
Great. Listen, everybody have a great week, and we will see you back next week. Take care.